You too want to hear another banger? Hey man, we got some extremely different today. Hopefully y'all rocking with it. You know, I've been trying to just test the waters on a lot of stuff. But we got 10 worst crashes in F1 history. Now look, we ain't here for the giggles. I don't know what to expect with this. I mean, just based off what's about to play now, it look kind of crazy. But before we get to this, make sure to subscribe, comment, and like. I'm ready to jump straight into it, so let's go.
And the roll hoop and the halo very much doing its job before the car digs in, and you do not ever want to see accidents like that.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're looking at the 10 worst crashes in F1 history. This list, we're looking at the most devastating crashes to take place in F1. Sadly, because some of these crashes resulted in deaths, a content warning is now in effect. Which of these crashes had you covering your eyes? Be sure to let us know in the comments.
This is history though.
Lorenzo Bandini at the 1967 Monaco Grand Prix.
Let me see.
At the 1967 Monaco Grand Prix, Lorenzo Bandini was trailing in
Look though. I ain't really into. I like the racing. I like the concept. I like everything. But like, why are they driving these light vehicles that can flip at any moment? I get it though. You go what, 400 miles per hour? I get it. But like, what's the like safety precautions on driving that fast in these little vehicles? Somebody give me something, bro. Answer. You really risking your life for that one race. Do it pay good? Give me behind the wheel. Fast and Furious. I get out there.
Second place behind Denny Hulme when he lost control of the vehicle and crashed.
Now Bandini. Bandini's crashed.
What the?
Look at that. The car, it looks like it's upside down, Phil.
The car flipped and its fuel tank broke, which resulted in the car bursting into flames.
What?
Marshall struggled with rescuing Bandini as the flames constantly grew and made the task all the more difficult. Although Bandini was eventually pulled out of the vehicle, he had still sustained third-degree burns.
Right,
he was taken to the
literally.
hospital, but sadly, he passed away 3 days later.
Make sure y'all subscribe,
he was 31 years of age.
Wow.
Gilles Villeneuve, the 1980.
He got out though and survived for 3 days.
Belgian Grand Prix. Near the end of the qualifier session of this edition of the Belgian Grand Prix, Gilles Villeneuve aimed to improve his position and lap time, so he attempted to cut another racer. There was clearly confusion as to which side he should complete the maneuver. He went right and hit the vehicle he attempted to pass. Villeneuve's car flipped several times, and the subsequent impact was so devastating, it resulted in Villeneuve being launched out of the vehicle. He was rushed to the hospital, but hours later it was announced that he had passed away. Jules Bianchi, the 2014 Japanese Grand Prix. In F1 races, one crash often leads to another, but none have been under such unusual circumstances. During a lap of this race, as a result of weather conditions, Sauber's Adrian Sutil would go off the track and hit a wall. A crane was used by marshals to remove the vehicle. During the removal process, Marussia's Jules Bianchi wound up driving directly into the crane. He was unconscious and was subsequently placed in intensive care. He later passed away as a result of the head injuries he sustained during the accident.
But like, wait. So he didn't see that big old thing? And wait, why would they? I get it. You try to help as much as you can, but you still got races on the track. Why would y'all bring some big equipment like that in there? And he didn't see that?
Much missed in the Formula One paddock.
Ronnie Peterson, the 1978 Italian Grand Prix. Crashing the vehicle he was meant to drive at the race during a practice session, Team Lotus's Ronnie Peterson was forced to drive an older model instead. Along with his vehicle facing technical difficulties, the main race began as the flag was dropped before all the cars were in their respective positions. The ensuing havoc and confusion caused by the error resulted in Peterson's vehicle colliding with a McLaren driven by James Hunt. Peterson's Lotus would then hit a barrier and burst into flames. Hunt and several crew members were able to get Peterson out of the vehicle and he was rushed to the hospital. The next morning, Peterson was pronounced dead as a result of a fat embolism. Romain Grosjean, the 2020 Bahrain.
All right, so this happened a couple years ago. 4 years ago to be exact. But let's see what's happening recently. Hey, this track look nice though. I'm not gonna lie, like motherfucker look so clean.
Grand Prix. It is truly a miracle that he survived and was able to escape an almost certain fate.
I thought about my kids and I said, no, I cannot die today.
Alberto Ascari.
You're the man. You're the man.
The 1955 Monaco Grand Prix. Trailing behind Sterling Moss in this race for the lead, Alberto Ascari was in luck when the engine of Moss's
what I noticed? Like, just the evolution of F1. The cars, the people, the tracks is different. I respect the progress and the process of, the F1 and what they got going on. Salute to all those racers out there that's going 500,000 miles per hour. Hey, once in a lifetime I want to, drive that fast, but I'm slowing down now,
Mercedes broke down. The opportunity to take the lead, however, was missed as Ascari's vehicle swerved out of control, crashed through a barrier and directly into the Mediterranean Sea.
There's so many people outside.
Ascari has overshot the chicane. The car has somersaulted straight into the harbor.
The car sank, but fans breathed a sigh of relief when Ascari appeared on the surface. He was subsequently rescued and hauled out of the water.
A motor launch has picked Ascari up, and he is brought over to the harbor side where an ambulance is waiting.
Despite the harsh nature of the crash, Ascari came out of the whole ordeal with a broken nose and some bruises. Wolfgang von Trips, the 1961 Italian Grand Prix. On the second lap of the Italian Grand Prix race in 1961, two cars on the track came in contact with one another. While one of the cars, driven by Jim Clark, came to a halt, the other, driven by Wolfgang von Trips, was spinning out of control and struck a section of spectators, 15 of whom were killed. Von Trips was thrown out of the vehicle and did not survive the accident. Despite this horrific sequence of events, the race continued, and Von Trips' teammate, Phil Hill, went on to win the race. Some drivers only became aware of the crash and its severity after the race, leaving many to question why it had not been stopped. Niki Lauda, the 1976 German Grand Prix. One of the greatest and biggest stars to ever get behind the wheel. This Austrian legend was involved in one of the most horrific accidents in F1 history. During the second lap of the race, out of nowhere, Lauda's car swerved out of control and caught on fire. Several drivers and staff assisted in pulling Lauda out of the vehicle, but despite escaping, he received severe burns all over.
And the initial prognosis was that he had little chance of survival. The nature of his injuries was such that a priest was called to administer the last rites.
Even though he was in critical condition and went into a coma, Lauda remarkably survived the ordeal and would make an incredible comeback after 6 weeks, and he later went on to win 2 more world titles.
What? Oh, he's a legend, bro. He's a legend for that. He said his job ain't done yet.
Ronnie Ratzenberger, the 1994 San Marino Grand Prix.
At the conclusion of this afternoon's final qualifying session for tomorrow's San Marino Grand Prix, I sadly have to report that the news is bad.
During a qualifying session of the San Marino Grand Prix in 1994, the nose wing of this 31-year-old's vehicle had gotten detached. The car subsequently went off the track and slammed directly into a barrier. Ratzenberger had suffered a skull fracture so severe, he was pronounced dead shortly after medical staff arrived at the site of the crash.
It was the first time.
There's no protection on them cars, bro. Or is it? I don't see like those little F1 vehicles. I don't even know what they're called. Hey, look. But those don't look safe at all. And you're driving extremely fast. Like, somebody school me on that, bro. Like, what's the point? Just for entertainment purposes?
We have to face a dead Formula 1 driver for our generation.
For money and entertainment?
The whole atmosphere was very heavy that afternoon.
Really risky.
Everybody was thinking about what are we doing here, or what's the point,
Worst of all, many believed the tragedy could have been prevented, as Ratzenberger was aware of the issue with his vehicle, but opted to complete another lap instead. Unfortunately, this wouldn't be the last tragedy to take place at
the... You gotta be safe than sorry, bro. Go check on your tire, go check on them bolts, rather than try to finish out the race, stuff like that.
1994 Grand Prix in San Marino.
It goes for
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our notified for occasional notification.
Grand Prix.
My goodness, I just saw him
On lap 7 of the main race, Brazilian and 3-time champ Ayrton Senna had taken a comfortable lead over Benetton's Michael Schumacher. At one point coming up on the corner, he attempted to make a turn, only for his vehicle to skid off the track and crash into a wall.
Damn.
The accident was so devastating the car's front wheel and nose were torn off.
Ayrton ran out of luck. He did not have a broken bone in his body. He did not have any bruising. If that piece of assembly would have gone 6 inches higher or 6 inches lower, he would have walked back to the paddock.
Although he was pulled out of the vehicle, he was in critical condition, and despite receiving medical treatment, it was to no avail, and he passed away later that evening.
He was special. I mean,
he wasn't injured or didn't have no bruises, nothing, and he passed away later that day? What they do?
Not one step. He was 2 steps better than everyone else.
They said he was perfectly fine. What did they do?
Did you?
Oh, man. Anyways, man, if y'all enjoyed that, give it a thumbs up. Hey, man, this is actually kind of crazy, bro. For the first time watching, like, F1, you know, I played the video game and whatnot, and, you know, they have, like, normal cars now instead of those. That's really why I played it, but those are pretty crazy to sit down and go that fast. I'm not gonna lie. It's just a protection thing. I don't see nothing to even one crash and you done basically. So and you're right next to 40 other drivers that's driving just as fast as you. Like I don't know. I don't really like. I don't know, y'all. But comment what y'all think, man. Subscribe if you new. We on the road to 2,000, 3,000 subscribers. So let's go get it. On to the next one.